Hi, good evening to you viewers out there, and welcome to another episode of Sports Night, brought to you by the creators of SLUsportsonline.com, Sports for You. This is our 10th episode. It's a very special episode. We have with us this evening a very special guest, Miss Eugenia Gregg from the St. Lucia National Cricket Association, and she's the third vice president. She will be here to speak to us about the latest happenings in cricket in St. Lucia. Also, we have with us co-host Hassan Ariste, and of course, I will be your main host for this evening, Ken Howard. I thank you very much for taking some time out to view this show. To begin, we will be looking at local news from around the island, and we'll also be going into sports news from the region and around the world. To start things off, we'll be looking at cricket news happening in St. Lucia. On Saturday, 4 teams squared off against each other in the Bank of St. Lucia National Cricket Association's T20 competition semi-finals at the Borsejou Cricket Grounds. The teams Monrepo took on Choiseul in the first game, resulting in a trip to the finals for Monrepo. In this encounter, Choiseul scored 123 runs while losing 8 wickets. This mark was surpassed by Monrepo with the loss of only 4 wickets. Christian Chalry obtained man of the match after an impressive bowling spell. In the second encounter, saw Grosley taking on Central Castries, and it was noted by the captain of Central Castries that many of the players were not available because they had other duties to attend to. This was one of the reasons for their poor showing over the weekend. Grosley easily won this encounter by 54 runs. The team scored 172 runs for 7 wickets, while Central Castries only mustered 118 runs all out. The man of the match went to Shane Alfred of Grosley. He was another impressive bowler, having taken numerous wickets. The finals for this competition is expected to take place on Saturday the 2nd at the Borsejou Cricket Grounds. That is this Saturday, the 2nd of November, at the Borsejou Cricket Grounds of Grosley. Okay. In other news, the Minister of Youth and Sports, the Honorable Sean Edwards, is expected to head a 4-member delegation on a visit to Cuba. He is expected to be there till Thursday, the 31st of October. And we all know that Cuba and St. Lucia has a very long-standing relationship with regards to the development of various sporting disciplines around the island, whether it be through infrastructure or the development of our human resource. We know that there are quite a few coaches down there who got their training from Cuba, and we are happy that this relationship exists between the two countries. In other news, the St. Lucia Basketball Federation held a joint press conference in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce to unveil and to sensitize the public on the commercial league set to kick off on Friday the 1st of November. Set to kick off on Friday the 1st of November at the indoor practice facility in Borsejou. There are 10 teams registered to face off, and they are Eastern Caribbean Financial Holdings, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the St. Lucia Fire Service, the Media Association, the Sandals Resorts, the Goddard Group of Companies, the Inland Revenue Department, Renwick and Company, and last but not least, NSDC, which is the National Skills Development Center. So these 10 teams are expected to face off to see who's the best in the commercial league basketball tournament. We will be bringing you more on this as the events take place. Yeah. Also in our news, St. Lucia is set to host the 223rd OECS swimming competition at the Rodney Heights Aquatic Center from Friday the 8th of November to Sunday the 10th of November. Team St. Lucia will comprise of a 34-member team to compete in the various aspects of the event. All reports indicate that the team is ready and are looking forward to a three-peat, meaning that they won the last two tournaments and they are looking forward to winning this one. And speaking of three-peats, there are many other teams out there looking to earn a three-peat. As we look at the NBA in the United States right now, the NBA season started off with a few surprises, one of which that the Los Angeles Lakers has defeated the Los Angeles Clippers in a very surprising start to the season. It is expected that the Los Angeles Lakers will not fare very well with the absence of their captain, Kobe Bryant. However, they surprised many fans out there by winning the first game of the season. Okay. The Miami Heat also won their game last night by defeating the Chicago Bulls, and by all due accounts, the Miami Heat are said to be the favorites to win the NBA championship this year and recording a three-peat. This is a feat done by the Los Angeles Lakers in the early 2000s and the mighty Chicago Bulls of the 1990s. However, they will be expecting a lot of rivalry from not only the Western Conference, but the Eastern Conference, where many teams have bolstered their squads, nonetheless being the nonetheless being the Brooklyn Nets, who has acquired Kevin Garnett as well as Paul Pierce. So it will be exciting to see how the season builds up and what to look forward to as many superstars return from injury, including the Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. On to football news. Going on to Spain. Over the weekend, El Clasico played out to the whims of Barcelona, who defeated Real Madrid once more in this encounter. Barcelona went on to win 2-1, while there was a disappointed outing by Gareth Bale of Real Madrid. Gareth Bale, as we know, signed a record deal, moving from Tottenham Hotspurs to Real Madrid, and he has yet to live up to his true potential as a football star. In the English Premier League, Arsenal remains on top of the standings. However, they will be facing second place, Liverpool, in an encounter that is sure to entice and excite many fans out there. If Liverpool wins, they will leapfrog Arsenal to the top of the Premier League table. However, a defeat will see Arsenal rising further ahead from the pack in the English Premier League. Disappointing results for Arsenal as they face Chelsea in the Capital One Cup. Chelsea went on to defeat Arsenal 2-0, kicking Arsenal out of the competition for another year. So that is another trophy that Arsenal will not be attaining as they go through various competitions throughout the season. Okay. And many people were excited when they noted that Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho renew their rivalry as the teams squared off. Of course, we know that Jose Mourinho got the better of Arsene Wenger's team. Next week, hopefully, we'll be bringing you more news on the Champions League, where many teams are set to serve in the second leg of the group stage of the competition. Teams including Arsenal will be playing in this competition. Okay? And before we go on to our interview segment, we stated that we have with us tonight Ms. Eugenia Gregg, who is the third Vice President of the SLU National Cricket Association. Okay. And hopefully, before the end of tonight's show, we will also have with us a second guest in the likes of Bradford Worrell, who is a national swimmer. We know that Bradford Worrell has been on the show before, and he has provided us with much needed information as we anticipate the various competitions taking part in St. Lucia. So right about now, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Eugenia Gregg, who is the third Vice President of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association. A very good evening to you, Ms. Eugenia Gregg.
Good evening.
We want to thank you for taking some time off to come on our show this evening. Before we begin, we wanted to say a little hello to all the viewers out there who are watching our show tonight. Say hello to the viewers, Ms. Gregg.
Good evening to the viewers.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gregg. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I think that we are experiencing a bit of a technical difficulty. Ms. Gregg, can you please adjust your volume because we are not hearing your responses clearly. Okay? And we also want to introduce with us our co-host, Mr. Hassan Eristi. Hassan, can you please tell our viewers out there good night?
Hi, good night to all our viewers out there. Good night, Ken. And we should have Ms. Gregg with us any moment now. She's just getting some stuff organized on her. But definitely we're going to get some information from her concerning the BOSL T20 tournament. Two exciting games over the weekend. As you mentioned, Monrepo v. Sozel and Rosalie v. Castries Central. Ms. Gregg, are you with us right now? Okay, I think Ms. Gregg just has some information. She has information for us, but she's having some difficulties. Could we have our producer? Can you get in touch with Ms. Gregg just to sort out something? I probably need to change the place she has put in the jack for her sound or something. Probably her headphones and mic probably messed up. But Howell, you know, the games were very exciting. We had some great performances, and I am sure that Ms. Gregg will be able to give us plenty more information than I can. But we did LA Sports Online. We did carry out the scores live. We did, which was really good. People enjoyed that.
Yes.
So it was a really good thing, Howell.
And hopefully, this coming weekend for the finals, we'll be bringing you live scores as well as the event takes place. Okay. Not only the live scores, but we'll be hopefully bringing you play-by-play notes to make those of you who are not present at the game feel as though you are at the game, so that you don't miss out on the action taking place.
Yeah. So while we wait for Miss Greg, how well? What did you think about the game during the week between Arsenal and Chelsea?
Well, it came as no surprise to me when I saw the lineups for the two teams. Of course, Chelsea chose to play some of the better players in the likes of Samuel Eto'o. We know that Mr. Eto'o is a prolific striker. He's one of those troublesome forwards who likes to get on the scoreboard whenever he plays in one of those big games. And now that he has signed to Chelsea, he is looking to elevate his position as one of the great strikers out there in the game. Arsenal fielded some of the younger players and some individuals who have not been playing for a while, like Nicholas Bentner. Nicholas Bentner, I believe, has only played maximum 3 games for the season. And of course, he was up front while Oliver Giroud was on the bench. While the match went on, it could have been noted that Chelsea had the advantage. Chelsea had most of the goal scoring opportunities, and it was only thwarted by the goalkeeping efforts of Arsenal. If it wasn't for our goalkeeper, I think Arsenal would have faced a greater deficit when exiting this tournament. But I must say that.
Okay, and you say refrain from using the headphone?
Okay, Miss Greg, you hear me first?
Yes, please. Can you hear me now?
Yes, wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, hi, good night, Miss Greg.
Good evening, viewers.
Hi, so you are the third Vice President of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association.
Yes,
can you please tell us a bit more about yourself?
Yes, my name is Eugenia Gregg. As I said before, former national and West Indies female cricketer. I would have played the sport for well over 20 years. So I think I may have a wealth of experience and knowledge in regards to the game. I would have played World Cup in England and in India, and currently I hold the post of third vice president and also chairperson of the Women's Cricket Committee.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Greg. Can you tell us what is your role as the third vice president of the SLNCA?
Okay, in a nutshell, my role is really to undertake all the affairs as in regards to women's cricket. So everything, any correspondences, anything in terms of development programs, anything in terms of activities with women's cricket, I would play an integral role in that regard.
Okay. How can you say women's cricket institution is
okay, I must say that women's cricket currently we are sort of revitalizing the sport. Women's cricket had been really on a decline over the past years, but sometime last year we were able to come together as a development committee, and since then we were able to get 4 districts to participate in 2 tournaments. We would have played the Alicia John T20 and then move on to the Sinto Ogis 50 over domestic. However, the 50 over domestic league is incompleted because we left participating in the WICB regional tournament, and we are trying to recommence that competition. And so come next weekend, we should have 2 matches or even 4 matches on if we are able to. If we are able to access the venues. So therefore, the Saturday and the Sunday, we should have matches in the Jacinto Ogis 50 overs competition.
Okay. In your opinion, how do you think the women cricketers in St. Lucia are generally performing as opposed to their male counterparts?
Well, like I said, women's cricket had been on the decline, and we are really revitalizing. We are really trying to rebuild. What I can say is that we have a very youthful team. So we have a lot of talent that we are trying now to harness that talent, to develop the skills and to get the ladies to a higher level. We are yet to introduce a development program, and we are hoping that as the years go by, that we would become a force to reckon with, as we would have been many years ago. And so therefore, it's really work in progress, and we are hoping that someday that we should be able to measure our male prowess.
Oh, good. All right. Okay. What are the possibilities of becoming a West Indies cricketer? I know that over the past few months that 7 women cricketers from St. Lucia on the team. What are the possibilities right now of becoming a West Indies cricketer from a St. Lucian standpoint?
Well, you're quite right. Well, for me, I term it as the glory days when St. Lucia once had as many as 9 selectees on a West Indies training squad, and at any point in time, we would have had at least 3 or 4 St. Lucians featured on the West Indies team. However, there are numerous opportunities out there, and what we have seen is that women's cricket is growing at the international level. There's a lot more in terms of the females, having a career out of their sports. We now hear of retaining contracts, and there's so much in terms of the holistic development of the player. And so therefore, it's just about players setting themselves goals and committing themselves to the sport. Cricket is a discipline where you have to be committed and you have to be at it all the time. And so therefore, we have seen a core of young people with a lot of talent, with a lot of skills, and we are hoping, like I said previously, if we can harness that talent, that we should, in the not too distant future, have at least 2 to 3 players back on the West Indies squad. Okay. So there is really a bright future ahead of us, and like I said, it just comes with sheer hard work and perseverance.
Well, as with any sporting discipline, hard work and perseverance is key to attaining one's goals. Before we go on to the T20 tournament that is going on right now with the collaboration of Bank of St. Lucia and the St. Lucia National Cricket Association, let me just ask, what are your views on implementing cricket for ladies at the secondary school level, not even at the primary school level? Given that most of the sports are taken up by the male counterparts, especially with regards to cricket, football. What are your views of infusing these sports for the female athletes?
Well, it's amazing that you would have asked me such a question when only today the executive of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association was in dialogue with the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. And we did make a request. In fact, for many years now, we have been asking or trying to discuss ways of bringing in our females and to sort of implement a nursery whereby, we can, pull in, or, we can get our players from our pool of players. And so today we were asking if, or we were trying to explore the possibilities of implementing if some sort of women's cricket program in the school system. And if we are not able to perhaps get a women's cricket program by itself, but ways of integrating the women at the junior level, perhaps at the under 15 level, and see how best we can, allow the players to play along with the youngsters. In fact, we can boast of one national player currently who would have graduated from the school system, and Nerissa Crafton would have represented her school at the secondary school level and has now become the captain of the youth team. And so therefore we think that it is possible that our could at that level, that is the under 15, participate in the school cricket.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Greg, can you tell us a bit more about the Boston T20 tournament, which is currently in its semi-final stages?
Okay, the Bank of St. Lucia SLNCA T20 is now at the final stages. The final will be hosted at the Boseju Cricket Ground on Saturday. Just before the final goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning, we would have a match from 10 o'clock where we are pulling in some of the players who would have been selected on a squad in preparation for the Windward Islands tournament. That will be there from the 20th to the 10th of December. And at 2 o'clock, the finals will go on. The finals is between Gozile and Monrico. And throughout the Bank of St. Lucia SLNCA T20, we've had very exciting cricket, and we expect nothing less than a very friendly rivalry. And we are hoping that the public is going to come out and support those matches. And of course, there will be a number of prizes to be won. We have some free tickets that would be given away on the Rumble tomorrow morning. Listeners should look out and listen to the Rumble so we could see how best they could perhaps win a free ticket to do the match on Saturday. And we also have the door prize of the cruise, to the Bahamas, and other prizes that would be up for grabs on Saturday.
Wow, I'll definitely be listening to the Rumble tomorrow morning to get a chance to win my free ticket to the show. I'm hoping that people like Mr. Hassan Harris, my co-host, doesn't beat me to it.
The questions will be very easy questions, so just tune in and you should be able to access a free ticket to the games on Saturday.
Okay. I think we have a surprise guest. I'm not too sure if he's coming on with us. But as soon as he's there, I guess we will let our viewers know. But Miss Greg, I think we have Brian. Brian is here with us. Hello, Brian.
Yeah, you can hear me, Hassan?
Oh, wonderful. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, good enough, good enough.
Great.
What breakneck speed?
Yes, we have Eugenia here with us right now. She was just giving us a rundown actually on the game coming up on the weekend. Could you give us a bit, what to expect, over the weekend?
Well, yeah, definitely we're hoping for a cracker of a game on the weekend. Monrico and Rosalie. The two teams have played pretty well during the tournament. Monrico has been very consistent right through, while Grosley, after losing the first game, they've bounced back to make it all the way through to the final. Both teams boast a number of national players, whether at the youth level or the senior level. Monrico and Craig Emmanuel was played for the combined campuses and colleges. Miss Greg would have had an opportunity to see him while she was over in Barbados. We have Mervyn Wells, who is currently in the Woodland Islands T20 squad. Also Gary Mathray, who for the last 2 or 3 seasons was part of the South Castries lineup, but he is now gone back closer home. Gone back to home. He's now with the back with the Monrico team. He's also in the lineup. They also have experienced players like Gavin Seri, who has been along for quite a bit. On the Grosley team, you have young Vidal Crandon, who has been making waves through the tournament. He's currently the top run scorer to date. Also, you have Dwight Thomas, who is just back from a stint in England. He too has been doing pretty well. And the tournament's leading wicket taker, Shane Alfred, he bagged 5 wickets over the weekend against Central Castries. So these are some of the persons to look out for on the weekend.
And Brian, I was following the game persons would have known that SLU Sports Online had the scores in live, and it's something that we're going to bring into greater effect for the finals. And we encourage that persons, when they go to the game, they can use their smartphones and keep up to date in terms of the score as well. So it's not only for persons abroad or persons who could not make it to the game. In terms of the game, Central Castries versus Grosley, I think there are two standout batsmen in that game. I think one would have been Sergio for Grosley, and if I'm not wrong, I think the person for Central who really stood out was Tariq. I think at one point he scored 3/4 of the runs that Central did put on the board. So what was it about? What was the whole feeling with those two batsmen? How did they play that game?
Well, as you know, Sergio Fede, very solid batsman. I mean, a lot of persons in the view that he's not a 2020 player, but in the game on the weekend, he showed that he there's a place for him in 2020 cricket. I mean, he came in when Grosley were just about 50 odd for 3 in the first 10 overs. Despite having a chance, he was able to make use of that chance, get into 67, and giving Grosley a formidable total. But one of the persons we have not mentioned as well is the captain, Kurt Edward. I mean, he had a solid 41 as well, which helped propel the innings to its end. Whereas Tariq Gabriel, just back from a series under 19 series between the West Indies and Bangladesh, which took place in Guyana, which Bangladesh won 4 games to 3. Tariq stamped his authority almost immediately. He got 81, and after he got run out, the game, Central Castries were in for a chance up until the time when he got run out. The number of exhilarating strokes all around the wicket.
Yeah, I think he did leave Central with a chance. I think just before he got out, they were needing yes, it was a bit tight, but very achievable. I think it was just over 10 runs and over. But when he got out, I think 2 overs just went by quickly, and the rate skyrocketed to probably 15 needed per over and on to 20 plus runs needed per over, which of course was beyond Central reach at that point. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think what really happened is after Tariq got run out, I think Central kind of panicked a bit because there was an able batter at the crease in Stephen Natram. He's also a national youth player. He was in the national 19 squad that won the Winwoods under 19 tournament. I mean, he was still at the crease, and every other batter who came in just tried to hit the ball far and long.
Yes, and you Miss Greg, you with us?
Yes,
Wonderful.
yes.
You did just before Brian came on. We were speaking about cricket and the program at schools, and we have this exciting finals, of course, coming up on Saturday. And I know that persons are going to be looking at this game, whether they at the game or whether they view scores online and whatnot. But in terms of excitement within the schools, I have been part of the school program for, we can see, over 6 years, coaching one of the secondary schools. And I believe that there is need for a bit more excitement, a bit more focus in terms of schools cricket. I know there are certain persons who are definitely putting in the effort, but I just believe that if we do not get down to the core, which is of course the youth, that we may be losing on some great talent, because I know of cricketers who are really good cricketers, but they don't get the chance maybe because of behavior, or the school, of course, because of behavior banning them, and they get tired of the suspensions because they cannot play cricket, so they just give it up altogether. But what we're gonna first have Eugene answer this, and then go over to Calix. What do you guys believe in terms of cricket at the schools, and do you see any huge room for improvement, and do you see anything that actually can be done to make it more exciting and to keep the youth into it?
Certainly, what you have said is just really so true. And like I said before, we have attempts have been made to introduce, well, specifically women's cricket. We know there is male cricket at the under 15 level, and there's also the kiddies cricket program, which is implemented at the school. However, we are trying to get our females to be a part of the school system as well. And we know that a lot can be done. I think we can perhaps further dialogue with the coaches who are on board, and to see how best some sort of program can include the females. Like you rightfully said, there are so many social ills out there, and if there are not, avenues where, the children could be engaged in, then they can put a go astray. But sports is something that they can turn to, and they can develop through that, through sports.
Okay, wonderful. Alex?
Yes, I think the school. I think the school is the right place to begin with. And when we say school, a lot of persons believe that when we speak of school, you just speak of the secondary students. But I think we need to start looking at the primary school level, where you can start nurturing the kids, and not only the male, but if we nurture both male and female, when they get to the secondary level, then your work is a little easier as a coach.
Okay, wonderful. And we just remind our viewers they could send their questions to SLU Sports Nite at gmail.com. That's SLU Sports Nite, Nite at gmail.com. If you have any questions to our guests, or of course hosts, you could definitely send them in. In terms of admission fee for the final, any of you want to just want to speak about that?
Well, for the weekend, it's really a giveaway for this weekend. You're getting two matches at $5, only $5, and you get a chance to watch the players who've been called into training for the national team. And those who are not involved in the final, they will be first up at 10 o'clock. It's more like an all-star team. They play among themselves. And then the big final at 2 o'clock. And as we said, it's only $5. And you buy one ticket, you get another ticket free. So you buy one, get one free.
Wonderful. And in terms of okay, we're just gonna move over to Ken shortly. Just one more question that I wanted to ask, and of course, before Ken goes ahead and asks any questions that are out there by our viewers. So Alex, what about media team? When are we gonna take on the winners of that tournament, or when are we gonna take on probably Eugenia's strongest female team? I know they probably say we're not strong enough for the men out there, but when is our match?
Well, I know a couple months ago the media team, they took on the Minister of Sports 11, and they promised a rematch a couple months later, but we're still awaiting. But we in the media, we're always open to challenges. So Miss Greg and her group want to take on the media, then I mean, so be it.
Miss Greg, what do you think about that?
I was just going to say, careful, we beat the media team and they feel humiliated,
that's okay. You know, I mean, if you beat us, we have nothing to beat us. You know, we will light on you guys. So, you know, so I don't think there's anything to lose. So how well?
Yeah, just a few questions. I noticed a recent trend taking place in sports these days. Earlier on this year, we had the Black Hat tournament, and Grizzly ended up being the eventual winners of that tournament. Now we have the Bangladesh Solution SLNCA T20 tournament, and Grizzly is here once again. Is there something about the home crowd that is pushing the Grizzly teams to win this tournament? And what do you think the crowd will be behind Grizzly once more as they play on their home soil?
Well, um, football and cricket, as you would probably know, in terms of spectator support, is a different kettle of fish. We're hoping that both teams in the final will encourage their supporters to come on to support them. I mean, Grizzly, because of the proximity to the Boston cricket ground, I mean, would be termed the home team. So we're expecting Groza to go all out to get persons around the Bosaju Stadium, Grosley proper, the Marshy area, Grand Riviere Corim, really get them out to come to support them on Saturday. But Monroe, I'm sure, will not let that daunt them. They would also be trying to pull in their support too to come down on Saturday to urge them on to victory.
Do you have a favorite team, Mr. Calix?
I didn't quite get that.
Do you have a favorite team out of the two teams?
A favorite of the two teams?
Yeah.
No, well, I don't have a favorite of the two teams. I'm just going to be out there supporting good cricket, and I know both teams will be putting their best foot forward in trying to lift the Bank of St. Lucia trophy. Um, but as it stands, I think the two teams are neck and neck.
Ms. Greg, do you voice Calix's sentiments with regards to the two teams being neck and neck?
Yes, the two teams are equally poised. Like Mr. Calix would have highlighted previously, there are certain people that you would look, forward to some sort of good showing from them, and so therefore it could go either way. And on the day, the best team would win the Bank of St. Lucia T20.
All right. We have a question here from one of our viewers, and this one is directed to Ms. Greg. It goes as follows. Is there any female out there in St. Lucia who can make the West Indies team in the next 2 years at least?
Okay. Yes, I think that with the, like I would have said previously, some hard work, we want to next year commence our women's league a lot earlier. We are hoping that the ladies are going to work perhaps 3 times as hard as they are doing now. And we are not just promising or just saying that by next year we should have a female selective. But as I would have said before, we are rebuilding, we are revitalizing women's cricket on the island. And so it really is a process, and it will not just happen overnight. But we are hoping in the near future that we should have, at least 2 to 3 selectees back on the West Indies team.
I think Miss Gregg has just been a little conservative there, because as you probably know, Miss Gregg is the manager of the women's team, so she would not want to be not want to be seeming to be blowing a trumpet. But I can stick my neck out and say in the next 2 years we should have at least 2 ladies, at least 2. Knocking on the West Indies door, and maybe even forcing their way into the West Indies lineup.
All right, we will surely be looking forward to this. And just to wrap up this part of our show, what is next out there for cricket in St. Lucia? What are some of the events that are in planning, or some of the events that are likely to take place before the end of the year or going early into next year? This question is open to the 2 of you.
Well, I can let Miss Greg throw in a couple balls in there, then I'll probably come in.
Okay. Um, One, we are recommencing the Asinta Obis 50 overs domestic league competition, and it will bowl off next weekend. The other thing that we are looking forward to is the celebration of the 25 years of women's cricket at the regional level. St. Lucia would have first participated in the WICB, but at the time it was called the Women's Cricket Federation, and we would have participated in 1988. And so this year we are really celebrating 25 years. And to mark this achievement, we are trying to organize a match in Swaziland, where all our former national players, national and West Indies players would participate. We would engage in a match versus the best of Swaziland. And we also want to include the 4 districts who will be participating in the domestic league. We also want to give it some hype on well, by using the other media, other mediums, and we want to perhaps feature our former West Indies players during that event. Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening in terms of the women's side. On the men's side, we have the national team, as you know, would be going into training from the coming weekend. They start off with this match preceding the final. Then the coaches take over, Coach Alton Crafton and his backroom staff take over. We also are going to have the year ending dinner and awards ceremony. That's going to be held at the Bay Gardens Hotel. It's the third annual awards at Bay Gardens. The first year we had Richard Richardson as the keynote speaker, and last year we had another West Indies captain, former West Indies captain, Clive Lloyd. He was the keynote speaker. This year we are trying to nail down yet another high-profile former West Indies player. Still in the making, but come December 14, we're wrapping up the season with our year-end award. It's a dinner and awards. It's been used as a fundraiser. As you know, think the Cricket Association will be utilizing all means in trying to rake in some much needed dollars to assist with our huge program for 2014. So, in a nutshell, that's where we are going to be in the next next 2 months or so, beginning of 2013.
Okay, there you have it, folks. A lot is happening, and a lot will be happening in St. Lucia with regards to cricket for both the men and the women. Now, my producers are telling us that our time is running out, but we still have, we just got another question from another viewer, and this one is coming from Kurt. Kurt wants to know what is the importance of sponsors like Bank of St. Lucia in keeping school sports alive.
Ken, you had that question. That question was, did you say who we had this question for? Or was it for us or for our guests?
I think it was. Oh, you're not too sure? I think it was for the guests. An open question for the guests, yeah.
I didn't hear the question clearly.
Okay, coming from Kurt, he asks, what is the importance of sponsors like the Bank of St. Lucia with regards to keeping school sports alive?
I am not sure if I am understanding clearly what the viewer is asking, but we really don't have anything much to do with with the organization of school sports in regard to sponsorship and so on. The ministry would be, the persons involved in terms of sponsorship for schools.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Well, hopefully later on in the show, we should have someone from the ministry who can enlighten us on how important sponsors like Bangladesh Mutual are. But before we end, we'd like to thank you, Ms. Greg and Mr. Calix, for coming on tonight's show. You were very special guests tonight, and I want to say thank you once more from SLU Sports Online.
Thanks for having us.
And I want to ask you guys, starting with Ms. Greg, what was the experience like? You have 10 seconds to answer.
What was the question?
What's your experience like on SLU Sports Night?
Oh, for me, I was really struggling a bit. Because, I had to try and get in to do the Google or the Gmail account and so on. That took me, it's a good thing I am computer literate, and eventually I was able to, log in. But of course, with help from you guys. All in all, the experience was really good, and perhaps I should do it a lot more frequently.
Wonderful. You're welcome on the show. We would love to get information from you and women's cricket and cricket in general in St. Lucia.
Thanks.
Brian? You with us, Brian? I think Brian.
Yes, although the connection seems to be breaking up a bit. I must say it was a very good experience. Hello? You can hear me, Hassan?
You will be breaking up. So we will take.
Yeah, I think the connection is breaking up a bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you've been run out. Yeah, so thank you guys once again for coming on the show, and we do look forward to seeing you guys once again. Probably, of course, to give a report on the finals. And we know that guys, purposes are going to enjoy this game on Saturday. And reminder that SLU Sports Online also going to be showing the scores as it happens at the Bosishu Cricket Ground. So we will speak to you guys again. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me, Hassan?
Yeah? Yes, Brian? Okay. Okay. We will. I will speak to Brian off air on this. So we're gonna just move over quickly, just to get some information from one of our guests who's been waiting patiently. He has just a bit of information for us in terms of swimming in St. Lucia, and I know that. I mean, I'll just leave it up to him. So Bradford Worrell, again, we welcome you to Sports Night. Yes, Brad? Okay, I think Brad is experiencing some. Okay, Brad, I think you just have to unmute your mic, and we should be okay. Okay, wonderful.
Can you guys hear me? Am I on?
Yes. Go ahead, Brad.
How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful this evening.
Yeah, we're doing
Thanks for having me on again.
No problem.
All right. So yeah, last weekend we had the Capri Sun National Time Trials, and that swim meet is it was a 3-day swim meet, and basically we use that meet as the selection meet for the OECS Swimming Championships. The OECS Swimming Championships will be next weekend at the Rodney Heights Aquatic Center. That's the 9th, 10th, and 11th. The meet was a success. It ran very smoothly all 3 days. My team won it, the Racer Swim Club. So, you know, we got bragging rights again for another year. But so all was well there. I will also be swimming on that team. My team has about 9 swimmers total on it. But really the team is 34 swimmers, and they're St. Lucia's best. We have one international swimmer coming in, Jordan Auger, and the rest is all local swimmers. So it should be every year. OECS is a big competition for St. Lucia. We always try to win it, and well, we have been winning it over the past few years. So it's a really good beginner national level championship. So you know, we every year, last year was held in Antigua, this year it's here again, and well, we host it more than the rest of the OECS, but it should be a really good, exciting meet. And well, I encourage anybody who's interested in seeing what competitive swimming is to come out and see that meet. It should be a very interesting competitive meet.
Okay, Brad, let me just go over what was just said. This meet is scheduled to take place on the 8th to the 10th of November. That is next week, Saturday.
That's right. That's right.
Next week, Friday, sorry.
That's Friday, yeah. The 9th, 10th, and 11th, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. And we are expecting another victory from the St. Lucian team at this.
I'm expecting the same, but you know, Grenada and Antigua have really been stepping it up. Antigua has some Cuban coaches in that have been working with them, and they've been getting really strong. They've got a really strong, I would say the 15 and under groups, well, 14 and under age groups are really strong. So, you know, St. Lucia has a lot of competition in those areas, you know, the younger age groups. So we've got a lot of work to do as far as gaining those points to put us where we want to be. But you know, the older age groups, we sort of speak for ourselves. Myself, and well, I'm gonna be the team captain, the male team captain. We also have Vanessa Eugene. She's gonna be a team captain, and we have, of course, Jordan Auger, who is long time, you know, a professional athlete. He's at University of Tampa, and so I think we're gonna have a strong 18 and over age group. We have a few strong 15 and over boys, so you know, it should be pretty tight, I'd say, with the point standing.
I want to be specifically participating in. What event will you be participating in?
I'm actually going to be in a list of events. The meet starts off with a 400 freestyle, 400 meter free. And I'll be swimming the 200 individual medley, the 200 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, the 50 freestyle, the pretty much hundreds and 50s of every stroke. So fly, back, breast, and free. And it's going to be exhausting for me, you know, coming in from, you know, the World Championships. I'm swimming, you know, 2 events, you know, going into a meet where I'm going to be swimming 9 events, you know, so it'll be pretty tough. But you know, it's the nature of the meet is, you know, make as many points as possible, and really it's all about scoring well in every event that is swam. So I think we've got a strong team going in. You know, it's gonna come down to the wire though, because the other teams are gonna come just as strong, or gonna try to at least. So it'll be pretty tight competition.
Okay. There you have it, our very own Bradford Worrell of St. Lucia, representing the yellow, white, blue, and black to the fullest. Okay. Our producers are telling us that our time is running out.
So unfortunate. That's all right.
As we close, Brad, can you please just send out some words of encouragement to your fans out there?
Sure. Let me see what I can come up with. You know, we've got a lot of sports on the island. We've got a lot of potential here on the island. I think a lot of kids want to do stuff. They want to be out there. They want to play a sport. You know, just today I was on the pool deck. I taught a group of kids from Marshy Primary School. And, you know, after the lesson, I had to tell them how well they did. And immediately they all wanted to join clubs and they wanted to continue swimming. You know, so it's us as the educators. We have to come out. We have to teach them what it is. But we can't let them leave the pool or leave the cricket ground or leave the court without telling them that they're doing a good job. And to keep working for it, and their work will pay off. So my words of encouragement is, you know, give credit where credit is due, and you know, encourage those younger ones, especially to join a sport from early, because it is something that will stick with them for the rest of their life.
All right, thank you, Brad. And we are hoping to have you here again after the OECS Swimming Championship
Most definitely, and I hope you
enlighten
guys are
us.
going to be there to get it on camera too. And
Okay.
maybe see if you guys could stream it. That would be great.
Okay, we will make our very best effort to make this a reality.
Excellent.
All right, thank you very much, Brad.
All right, have a good night, guys. Take it easy.
All right, Brad,
Thanks for having me
enjoy.
on again.
Take care.
And we're looking forward to a longer conversation with you on another show.
Most definitely.
Yes, and just before we close, can we just I just finished speaking to Brian Calix of air, and just said that you know, actually we at SLU Sports Online will be giving away 10 tickets to the game on Saturday. The game on Saturday between Monrepo and Grosley. That's the Bank of St. Lucia BOSL T20 finals at 2 p.m. at the BCG. We will be giving away 10 tickets. So what must you do to win those? To win a ticket? It's very easy. You must be one of those who like our page on Facebook. That's SLU Sports Online. That's our page on Facebook. Once you're one of those who like that page, you have a chance to win a ticket to go see Monrepo versus Grosley at the BCG. A very exciting T20. As you heard, Khalid said, you have the likes of Sergio Fede, Edward, the likes of Matre, Wells, you name it. There are guys out there who really could turn it on Saturday. So again, you need to be one of those who like our page on Facebook. That's SLU Sports Online. And also, Twitter fans, we're not forgetting you guys. We're also going to include, you need to also be one of the, well, if you're also following us on Twitter, you also get a chance to win one of those 10 tickets to go see the game. So this is where I end my stint on the show, and I pass it over to Ken.
All right, thank you, Hassan. And just to close quickly, I'd like to give you viewers out there two pieces of advice. One, you cannot miss this T20 finals taking place on Saturday at the BCG. And two, you cannot miss another episode of SLU Sports Night as we bring to you the latest happenings in sports, not only in St. Lucia, but around the world. And with that, I wish you a very good night, and peace, love, and sports. Good night.